Welcome to First and Goal, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Get ready for the latest and hottest topics in the SML. Let's get started. Here's your host, Mad Bomber.
Welcome to this week's episode of First and Goal. This week we, of course, have Prime, 16-time champ. Everybody knows the GOAT, 6-time First and Goal champ. Probably going to boot me from SML after tonight's game. And then we've got Colt and Chris, first time on here. So we're excited to have somebody else take down Prime. And how you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Everybody excited for the playoff games? So I know there's at least one going on tonight I heard of. But we'll see
Colts
if there's anything
Jaguars,
else.
Boys. It's
All right.
Be lit.
So first topic, and we're going to start with Prime on this one. First topic, last week on First and Goal, we talked about the most underrated teams. This week, who is the most overrated in the SML? Prime, starting with you.
Well, I kind of took this differently than I think most would. And you have to look at it a few different ways. Like, who overrates themselves the most is definitely Dookie. This guy will overrate himself beyond belief. He hasn't won anything, and he thinks he's the greatest thing in SML history. So that's one way to view it. Then you have overrated by others, and that's somebody like, and I don't think he's that overrated, but Grams. He's been struggling lately. One playoff win in like his last 8 or 9 playoff games. But who do I think the most overrated is? None other than Colt 45. And here's why. He hasn't beat anybody. His best win was against Pauly's Scrub Squad. I know 2 through 3 picks, but Pauly was drinking. He was probably doing some shenanigans outside of Madden while that game was going on, and old Colt 45 got a cheap win. So that's my most overrated, Colt 45.
All right, well, on that note, then we'll just go right to Colt for this one. Who's your most overrated team?
Wow. So when I saw that question, I really had to look into it, and I found a couple that I thought were pretty overrated. Narrowed it down to number 1. My close call was none other than our host himself, Mad Bomber.
I'd agree with that.
Hey,
100%.
You're a great player, but I don't think you have any of the accolades to say as good as, or you're as good as some people like Prime, who seems to be a little bit afraid of you.
That's true. I did only beat him 4 in a row, so maybe I need to win a couple more in a row to.
Now, number 1, it's a guy that I've played with for a couple cycles now, and well, I'll just go all out and say it. No, Pauly's not elite. Dolphins, I think that whole division, the AFC East, is the one thing bringing y'all's big bad conference down to begin with.
I agree with that.
I think he would easily be battling, and this isn't just because I beat him the other night, even though y'all say it was a cheap win, but he'd easily be a bottom feeder in the NFC South or the NFC West.
So that win over Dookie was what?
I mean, how many guys in here can say they've went 16-0 in a full season? I've played Dookie twice. One game was close, one was a blowout. Dookie's a solid player. He may be one of the best in the league, but it happens sometimes. I've seen Prime lose to much lesser opponents. It could even be a matchup nightmare. I've never beat Rowan, but I've beaten a lot of people who have. So.
Okay. I do. Can I piggyback off Colt real quick when he says AFC East? Matt is another one. A lot of guys were hyping up Matt. They knew him from former leagues, but that guy can't pass a ball. If he was throwing a rock into an ocean, that thing goes backwards. Wow. That guy can't throw. Very overrated.
Shots are being fired all over the place.
All right, Chris, your turn to throw somebody under the bus. Who's the most overrated team?
I'm going to have to go with Dan. I think Dan is all talk. I mean, when it gets to the playoffs, he just crumbles. You know, he got lucky this season. I just don't see him just being elite as everybody thinks he is.
Okay. So we got Dan, me, and who was the other? I don't even remember who the other one was.
I just listed like 5.
Pauly's the most overrated coming from me. You're close call.
And Prime just overrated everybody. But that's fine. All right, so we're going to move on to topic 2. How important are abilities? Everybody's talking about these dev games coming up, and every time there's one, somebody posted in the chat. But how important are these abilities really? And we'll start with Colt.
All right, I think if you're a great player, constant playoff contender, you've been in a few Super Bowls, I think those abilities are make or break. You line up a few good players, get you a quarterback, a running back, a couple defenders with some X factor abilities, you're instantly a favorite to win the Super Bowl. Now, if you're a bad player, if you throw 30 picks a season, throw into double coverage and can't find a hole when you're with your running back, those abilities aren't going to do nothing for you. They may get you one extra win. You might have 3 wins on the season instead of 2, but it's not going to make you a good player. It's not going to make your team a good team.
All right, Chris, what do you think?
I mean, I think having those abilities do matter. I mean, you just look at a certain player who has certain speed on the outside and a bazooka cannon quarterback who every time,
I feel like you're talking about somebody. I just can't think of who it is.
Am I? Yeah, he's missing right now. I don't know where he is. But yeah, if anyone had those abilities, yeah, there's no way you would lose if you had those abilities,
You would think. There's no way you could lose. All right, Prime, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it comes down to play style. For example, Meats is a guy who literally took the same team this year as he did last year. The Ravens, the Cardinals, same team. He got his cheesy running back. I guess the way I view it is how cheesy are you? And I'm not saying using abilities is cheesy, but you have guys like Dan who just is begging for a breakout game every week. He's like, oh, I just wish I had a breakout game. And then there's guys who just seem to win and not really care. For example, Pauly, I mean, who's on his team with abilities? The running back, maybe.
I don't even think he's got them. I think maybe Byron
and
Jones.
And he's winning just playing his game, scheming well. So I think if you're a great player, you're going to win no matter what. And this last Madden, a guy like Sunday, great player, but it took him to the next level when he had those crazy abilities. This year, they're a little more tuned back, and I think that I don't think they're as important this year.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I've seen any like game-breaking ones, other than when Derrick Henry or Nick Chubb gets their X factor lit up. They become pretty unstoppable.
Ooh, yeah, it's stupid.
All right, so topic 3 is going to be thoughts on people playing in multiple leagues. I know there's a lot of guys in here playing in just SML, but there's also a handful playing in multiple leagues. I tried playing in one league last week, and I think I lasted about a week. It just didn't do it for me. It didn't feel like the right fit. What do you guys think about people playing in multiple leagues? And we'll start with you, Chris.
I guess at the beginning of when Madden launches, you want to get that gameplay in. You don't want to be on playing mutts for the gays, whatever, lobby ball. No one wants to do all that. So my preference, I'd rather be in 2 leagues, but then you start burning out quicker once you're in 2 leagues, and you just want to concentrate on that one league. So it's definitely hard at the beginning or even at the end to even hold on to 2 leagues, but I'm a fan until a certain point.
Okay. Yeah, Prime, we'll go with you. What do you think about multiple leagues?
Yeah, as a commissioner, I encourage people to join other leagues just to see what's out there. And like you said, people fit different in different leagues. And for me personally, I could not do 2 leagues. I tried it. I lasted about a week and a half, and then I quit. And part of it may be because I'm commissioner, another part because it just isn't what I'm used to. The only time I take issue with it is when somebody joins like those garbage leagues that just allow anything, and then they allow that cheese gameplay to leak in to the SML because, and maybe not it's intentional, maybe it's just because they've absorbed it and they're just combating it. Now they're pulling it in here. That's kind of an issue, but overall I encourage it. I just not for me.
Yeah, I know you've been encouraging me ever since our first game. I don't know what to make of that, but
yeah, seriously, dude. Hey, if you want to join a different league, it's okay with me.
Yep. All right, Colt, what do you think?
All right, I think you play in whatever leagues you have time for. If you've got time to play in 3 leagues, play in 3 leagues. But the biggest thing is you want to be a well-liked user in any league. You want to be clean, you want to be active. If you can't give league number 2, league number 3, league number 4 the attention to build your team, to play your games, activity in chat, then don't do it. It's that simple. I mean, most leagues that I've been in, I've ran a league before. The commissioners spend a lot of time. Some spend a lot of money. It's a lot of hard work to keep a league going. And for someone to just come in and force win, off season rolls around. I'm sorry, I don't have time. I've got a playoff game in this league to do. Next thing you know, you've got a team of nothing but bums. And now these people that have been active all year long are struggling to fill your team. And I think that's just the biggest issue with playing in multiple leagues. But by all means, I'm in 2 right now. Back before I had the amount of kids I have now, back in Madden 16, I was in as many as 5 leagues at one time.
Wow.
I'll never go back to that. But I think if you can, like I said, if you can be active and play your games, build your team in more than one league, by all means, do it. Best case scenario, you're going to find some great new people to play with, and you can use them to help fill the other league you're in.
Yeah, I think joining a Madden league is a lot like dating a woman. You know, they all want attention, and you can really only give your full attention to one of them. And you as a league commissioner, you just try to be the prettiest woman.
Yeah, if I was in 5 leagues, I don't think I would be married. For real. My wife would leave me.
Five is
I
definitely
don't know
gone.
how I did it.
She gone.
quite a few.
We
All right,
both
so
believe
that's
I
going to
was
bring
single
us
at the
to
time.
topic 4.
Single.
Topic 4. So this week we had Rowan gets on a plane. He goes to the airport, gets on standby so he can get on a plane ahead of schedule so he can make his game. Playoff game, huge regular season game. I mean, this was either you're in or you're out of the playoffs for the NFC East. But you know, it was coming down to the wire, and if he didn't make it, it sounded like it was going to be advanced on him. What do you guys think about exceptions to advances in a situation like that? I know last cycle we advanced or simmed a playoff game. What do you think? Should there be exceptions to advances? And we'll start with Colt this time.
Honestly, I mean, I've been in this league for a couple cycles, joined at the tail end of Madden 19, and what we got going seems to be working. I'm in some leagues where people struggle to play the games. Of course, you want to think about exceptions, but in here, the only thing I would change if I absolutely had to change something, it would be maybe latest start time. Like, I know me and Royce ran into the issue this past season where maybe if we say you start 45 minutes before advance, we'll hold so you can finish your game if you go into overtime where there's a lot of incomplete passes. But other than that, I think what we got going is the right move.
All right, Chris, we'll go with you next.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have an advanced time set for a reason. Only reason I see you could have an exception is family emergency or Noel falling through the attic, you know. So, sorry, no. I mean, Noel.
Honestly, I feel like Rowan might have thrown himself through the roof, though, if that was the case.
So are we going to hold advance 2 months for him to heal up from that?
Yeah.
All right, Prime. We'll go to you to finish off.
Yeah, I think we've been doing this for 6 years, and it seems to be working great. You just set a standard, and because at what point do you stop? Is it a family? Is it because you're running late from a doctor appointment? Is it your kid's doctor appointment? I mean, we all have things that are important to us in our priority list. And you give people an inch, you take a mile. I know earlier this week it was brought up that I arbitrarily changed up the advanced schedule. I think the issue is if you advance on a Wednesday, it's just not right to wait till Sunday and have a 96-hour advance. It's just not right. Yeah, I don't really take issue with when people say I suck at Madden or, oh, the GOAT's not the same. I don't really care. But when somebody says that I'm not doing things the right way or thinking them through, I take issue with that. And I know I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I don't, like you said, you have to set a line. I mean, if you advance for this, well, then the next thing comes up and it's just a little bit further past that line. Well, we can move the line a little bit, and eventually you're holding advances for everything. So I definitely agree that there shouldn't be exceptions to the advance, but I do like the idea of a start time because that really would hurt to be advanced right in the middle of a game.
That's a good idea, Colt. We'll look into that.
All right, so right now we're actually tied 18 all. So we're gonna have a bonus question, and this is gonna come down to this week. KJ played his week 17 game. He's 1 in 15 going into this week. Pretty much got the number 1 pick locked up, number 1 or 2, maybe top 3 pick. And then he goes ahead and he just blows out ZZ. If it's week 17, you got a top 3 pick locked up. Are you throwing that game? We'll start with you, Prime.
Oh, I'm throwing that hard. I'm not throwing on week 8 or week 9, but if it's week 17 and it's last game and it could be the first pick, I'm throwing that game. I'm starting my kicker at quarterback. I'm saying I'm missing the game time to give ZZ the force win, whatever it takes to lock up that pick. I'm doing it because at the end of the day, no one's even remember that game if you won or lost anyway. But if you
I'll
get that
remember it now.
yeah, that's true. But if you get that franchise quarterback and get on a playoff run, then everyone will remember it and they won't remember that loss.
Yep, especially if you're working with Jacoby Brissett right now.
Whew. Yeah, that's rough.
All right, Colt, what do you think? Week 17, what are you doing?
All right. Well, I figured Prime would say that being a Colts fan.
Suck for luck, baby. Suck for luck.
GMs, they may tank, owners may tank, but coaches don't tank, players don't tank. Last I checked, this was the Sim Madden League, not the arcade Madden League.
Good news is we're in the owner league then.
Blank Madden League, not the X Madden League. Tanking's not Sim. I mean, simple as that. I don't tank. I'd struggle. I mean, I'll be honest. Last season, I got into a rut, started it off real bad, didn't give full effort, but I started on my best players. I tried to win. Maybe I didn't fight as hard as I should have, but I don't think tanking, even week 17, putting a punter in, putting backups in, you play to win the game. You got to rep your team, you got to rep your players, you got to rep your city.
All right, what do you think, Chris?
What was the score of that week 17 game?
I did not see. Let me see. I can pull it up, but
It ended up being a force win because there's a disconnect.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay,
So there was a force win, but apparently KJ was up pretty big.
3 scores.
maybe it wasn't really KJ. Maybe it was Tiny over at KJ's house.
Really? That would have made a difference.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would have made a difference because Tiny is the goat shit. He is the goat. So, nah, for real. But yeah, KJ should have inadvertently thrown 10 picks that game. So I think he should have looked out for his future and maybe started his backup, his third string practice squad quarterback.
Yeah, I'd have done something. Even the Jets over there, they're starting some 57 overall that Meats is saying is like the next coming of whatever. But yeah, there's no way I'm beating ZZ and knocking myself out of a top 3 pick in the last game of the season. Yeah. But so that's gonna do it. And we've got Colt with 20 points, Chris with 21, and Prime with 20 points. Chris is going to be the winner of this week's show.
Hey.
Prime, there's no way you were going to win anything tonight. And then
I know, that's why I started dancing.
and then Colt,
in my mind, I won.
As the most underrated owner, there was no way I was going to let you win. So Chris is going to be our winner tonight. So he's got 30 seconds for anything he wants to talk about, starting now.
All right. Shout out SML community. Fuck the AFC West. NFC East. We're gonna be back next year. Holla. Peace. Mamba out.
All right. So that's gonna do it for this week's episode of First and Goal. Immediately after we record this, I think we're gonna play the Colts Jaguars game. So
let's go.
That should be pretty good for our 5th or 6th matchup of the early cycle. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, guys, and look forward to next week.
Thanks for listening to First and Goal. Be sure to check out Mad Bomber TV on Twitch and YouTube for the latest from the SML. And we'll see you next time on First and Goal.